Hello, everyone. Holly Agnew here. I'm so happy to be with you tonight, and I have a question for you. Why is it that so many of us, especially as we get older, still feel like we need other people's approval to help us feel good about ourselves? What if that constant pressure is actually blocking us from the joy, confidence, and freedom we are meant to experience in this stage of life? So let's talk about approval seeking, because when we're young, wanting to fit in is completely normal. Belonging helps us shape identity, to feel safe, and to learn who we are. But sometimes we don't outgrow that pattern, even as adults. And that's when life starts feeling like we're always trying to earn a gold star from someone else. So what happens when we stay stuck in the approval mode? We start living our life based on what others think. Are any of you all guilty of that? I know sometimes I am. We judge our worth through their eyes instead of our own. And this often becomes more noticeable through our relationship with food, weight, and our body. And we walk through life trying to be good enough instead of already worthy, which all of us are already worthy, whether we like to think we are or not. So what is the difference between external approval and inner knowing? Most of us are taught that beauty equals youth, thinness, and perfection. We're taught that from a very young age. All you have to do is look at the magazines and everything that's posted out there. It all is about people being young and thin and model shaped and all that. But the real opportunity of midlife and beyond is learning to trust our own voice more than the world's. What if our worth isn't earned at all? What if it's inherent and always has been? So I was listening recently to a podcast, and they were talking about this woman who had dieted for over 50 years. She was afraid to eat the food that she baked because she was a baker, because she feared gaining weight and being rejected, even though no one had ever once been mentioned her size or rejected her because of it. She was surrounded by love, yet she didn't feel it because she didn't feel it for herself first. And unfortunately, that is the reality for many people. It isn't the world withholding acceptance, it's us withholding acceptance from ourselves. So let's talk about some things like the cost of living for approval. We shrink ourselves physically, emotionally, and socially. We live so small that others won't have anything to judge. And we miss out on pleasure, joy, and connection. But there is a power to reclaiming things around our weight and appearance. We can gently step out of the belief that smaller equals more valuable. Our beauty is not lost with age. It evolves, deepens, and strengthens. This chapter of life is designed for power, not shrinking. And this is a big one. Why reaching a goal weight is only a temporary high. How many of you guys know somebody that is on a diet? I know a ton of people that are on a diet, or they're taking some kind of diet shot or whatever. The problem with those is the celebration is brief and quickly replaced with, now what? The scale doesn't give peace. Self-acceptance does. Real fulfillment is found in freedom, presence, and pleasure, not perfection. And just remember, like those shots and those things, those are temporary. Once you go off of them, you're going to gain everything back and then some, probably, unless you change something in the process of using that, which most of those things don't promote those. So here are some ways to start building self-trust. First of all, notice when you're looking outward for approval and turn inward instead. Speak to yourself like someone you deeply love. Eat with presence, not punishment. Practice appreciation for your body, not for how it looks, but for what it does and who it allows you to be. and let compassion be louder than criticism. So, you aren't here to make yourself smaller. You aren't here to be approved. You are here to grow, love, expand, and experience life fully in the body you live in today. You are allowed to take up space. You're allowed to trust yourself, and you are allowed to be enough. So if this spoke something inside to you, I'd really love to hear from you. Comment, I'm ready, if you're ready to step toward self-trust, and share one belief about your body or worth that you're ready to release. Or simply drop a heart so I know you're walking this path also, because I know this is one I've walked for a while. This conversation matters, and you matter also. So let's keep growing into inner peace, body trust, and freedom together. Hope you guys have a great night.